Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. By very popular demand, I am here today to talk about modern controls in Street Fighter 6. So specifically, I guess this is a bit of a tier list, as many people have asked me to talk about the various characters and their strengths and weaknesses in modern. And well, that's exactly what we're going to do. So now, just to head this out the past, what this video is not is a video just talking about the basics of modern. If you struggle with motions or moves, or if you're just a true beginner, don't worry about this list. If you're just starting with Street Fighter, man, just pick modern, hit the buttons, you're good to go. Don't worry about what I have to say here, because it doesn't really affect you. What I'm talking about when I talk about strengths of modern controls and the various characters is how modern benefits them in a more competitive setting. That you can still do all the various moves and all the various motions. That part's not difficult, but what can you gain out of modern that you can't get in the normal classic control set? That's what I'm talking about in this video. So that said, I'll timestamp this hopefully if I did this correctly. Here is the tier list. So we're going to be talking about it, but if you just wanted to see the tier list, here it is. There you go. You can leave a like, all that kind of stuff, right? And I have 4 tiers. Modern works in that I think these characters actually get legitimately distinct benefit out of modern controls. Has strengths in modern, which is exactly what it sounds like. These characters, maybe not, modern's not the ultimate way to play or nothing, but if you play modern, you can definitely get something out of them. Nothing special, which we'll talk about here in a second. Now, Dalsum, I think, is a really good example of that. And don't bother, which is all the charged characters, which I'll also talk about. So now with Dalsum specifically, we're going to talk the nothing special tier, because to me, they're nothing special. I don't think modern's anything inherently wrong with any of these tier characters, right? Like Dalsum, he gets a lot of the benefits, like, hey, 1 button fireball, 1 button different fireball, 1 button different breath, 1 button different breath, all that kind of stuff. He gets a lot of the 1 button benefits, sure. But that's about it, right? Like, he doesn't even lose that much. Compared to some characters, he gets off very easy. Like, he can't do back heavy kick, specifically, this guy here, which is whatever, because he still has options to do back medium punch and back heavy punch, the yoga sniper, right? So his anti-air options, like maybe you lost one of them, but you still have 2 very dominant ones. And he can do things like instant air teleport with the 1 button, but the problem is, in this game specifically, they made teleports way easier. So if this was Street Fighter 5, a quick 1 button teleport, that would be a dream. But, it's not Street Fighter 5 anymore. So teleports are not difficult anymore, so it's just kind of whatever. Like, and everyone in this tier, it's just kind of whatever. They're not necessarily bad in modern. It's just they don't derive any distinct benefit out of it, on top of losing whatever normals they do, and of course, obviously, on top of whatever damage penalties you get. Because, just in case if you're unaware, when you do the move regularly, it's whatever, but if you do the 1 button version of a move, it's always going to sustain a 20% damage penalty. And Dalsum specifically just gets no real benefit out of 1 button special moves. And yes, he doesn't lose anything of major consequence, but he also doesn't gain anything of consequence. And for me, the nothing special tier, that's everybody on this tier. So now so I'm not going to go into major depth about those characters. And for the do not bother tier, it's all the charged characters, because legitimately, I think modern just actually sucks for charged characters. Let's use Honda as a very quick example. With the charged characters, you still have to charge. So you have to hold back and then you can hit your 1 button special, right? But you still have to do the quote unquote hard part of the charge character. So if you have to hold back and hit a button, what's the difference between holding back and hitting a button and holding back, hitting forward and hitting a button? Not much, really, right? So the 1 button nature benefit of modern controls is like literally a non-factor. It is effectively just as much effort. Like say Honda, if I hold down back, which Hondas are gonna do. So say normally I would play it down back and I go for a headbutt, right? That's me manually entering it. If I hit down back and I have the charge and I hit the special 1 button special modern button, I get the grab instead. So I have to actually go out of my way to stand up and then hit the button to do a headbutt, which is literally more work than doing the actual normal charge motion. So that's not good, and not the least of which is Honda has to manually do the butt slam. There's no 1 button modern option. You have to manually do the butt slam as you normally would, meaning, once again, what's the point? You're losing out so much. you can't even easy input. Also, because you have to hold back and do the easy input button to do a headbutt, right? If you don't want to do it manually. If for whatever reason, normally if you didn't have enough charge, like what would happen is you would just like kind of flub and you might hit like whatever button, right? So instead of headbutt, I might go like, whoops, I hit jab, whoops, I hit jab. This, if you don't have the right amount of frames, if you're 1 frame off charge, you go, whoops, hit 100 hand slap. And then you're probably going to get punished for whiffing. So it's actually much more detrimental. So a lot of downsides. You don't even get all the charge moves on the easy buttons. And even for the ones you do, what's the actual benefit? Much the same here, Guile. So Guile can hold down back, hit the easy button, get the flash kick. Okay, whatever, right? And he can hold back, hit the button, get the sonic boom. But what he can't do is do sonic booms and get a perfect sonic boom. It's not possible. If you want a perfect sonic boom, you have to manually do it, which once again defeats the entire point of Modern. So for all the charge characters, Modern is absolutely not worth it as far as I'm concerned. It adds even more layers of difficulty and obfuscation. So, okay, I'm not going to go through every single character, but for me, all the charge characters are just a pain in the butt in Modern. Absolutely not worth it. Don't bother. Okay, now, all that said, let's talk about the people who actually legitimately do benefit from Modern. I'm not going to say Modern is better necessarily, but they get a lot out of it. And you might notice that the 2 tiers of positivity for Modern controls are all characters that have some sort of frame 1 anti-air attack. And to me, that is worth its weight in gold. Being able to just hit a button and you get the Dragon Punch equivalent without having to do the motion and the extra mental stress, execution stress, all that. Just go bleh, hit a button, you get the Dragon Punch. That is worth okay. There's an 80% damage penalty, right? I do only 80% damage rather, and I take a 20% damage penalty. If this was like 60% damage penalty and only did 40% of its base damage, it would still be good. It would still be worth it. That is how much I highly value the 1-button Shoryu, the 1-button anti-air uppercut. It is a defining feature of Modern to me, and any character that can do it is automatically a better character for it, and much more valuable in Modern than characters that cannot do something like this. So quick, easy uppercuts, amazing. And for Luke too, his uppercut specifically is his medium uppercut, which is the right nice blend of damage and speed and startup. So against Modern Luke, you are not jumping against this character. He can be slow, late, and still go, oh yeah, and just, punish your jump. So that kind of stuff is worth its weight in gold to me, and it's amazing. Now, of course, part of Modern is what do you lose, right? And Luke does not lose much. Specifically, the only thing I think stings a little bit is Luke can't do stand medium kick. His stand medium kick is actually a legitimately pretty solid poke, right? But the thing is, Luke is not a character hurting for solid pokes. He can still do with the auto button and Fierce. He can still do a stand heavy punch. He still has a lot of his very interesting command normals. He still has stand medium punch, which is really good. He still has stand medium kick. With the auto button, he still has crouch medium punch. So he retains a lot of the really good normals. He just loses the 1, which is admittedly a little sore, but I think that's well worth the price for 1-button Shoryukens, right? So that's a very fair trade-off. And when it comes to just button mashing, all that kind of stuff, they gave him all the goodies. They gave him decent hit confirms. If you hold the auto button here, he has a good leg hit confirm. If you want to use some of the Modern ease of use, quality of life stuff, Luke's versions of it are actually pretty good overall. And of course, naturally, Modern being Modern, they will let you do combos yourself, right? You don't have to rely on the easy auto buttons. It's all there. And for Luke, still, especially here, say back and the easy button, right? It gives him medium flash knuckle, and you can still full charge it, and you can still do perfect timing for it as well. So that stuff is all there. All the perfect timing mechanics for all the various flash knuckles are all there as well. So that part doesn't disappear. So that skill element of Luke is still there. It's just, you basically lose 1 good poke and you gain a 1-button anti-air. And also another big part of Modern controls is the fact that you have, effectively 1-button supers, right? And Luke is especially gifted in this way because his level 1 and his level 3 are really good reaction check supers. Did you whiff something from this far away? Then gotcha. Really, it's as simple as that, right? I don't have to buffer and people like seeing this, they're like, okay, he's definitely trying to buffer a super in, right? I can just do my usual back force and just go back and just hit 2 buttons together, and I get my reaction check super. And yes, there's a damage scaling, but still, when you're going for that kind of stuff here, buffering, like you can just do it instantly. So the damage penalty is not so bad. And specifically too, he has the level 3, and the level 3 is slower. It's not as big of a gotcha level 3 as some other ones, but it does cover enough of the screen. If you toss out that errant fireball, he can just not have to walk forward while buffering it in. He can just go hit down 2 buttons together and get the instant version. So you can't whiff stuff or do random stuff against modern Luke with meter. So on top of the fact that his core game plan is effectively fully intact, you get to do all the Luke things minus this one poke, and you gain some pretty significant strengths. I think modern Luke is very, very strong. Now, in the same vein of modern Luke, I think modern Cammy is also very, very strong. Once again, over everything else, I prioritize the 1-button anti-air. Just being able to do it without having to do the motion clears up a bunch of your mental fog, a lot of your mental confusion in the middle of a battle. You just see the jump and just hit forward on a button, and that is worth its weight in gold. The damage penalty, whatever, I take double the damage penalty for a 1-button Shoryu. So that is worth its weight in gold. And once again, every character that I think is decent has one of these. So just to throw it out there. But Cammy also benefits pretty good. One, she keeps pretty much all of her good moves. You know, still has the good jabs, all that kind of stuff. Still has back medium punch, still has stand medium kick, still has stand medium punch, crouch medium kick, all your various heavy options, like they're all there. She still has jump medium punch as well, jump light kick for the cross up. The only thing that she's really missing is crouch medium punch, which, you know, once again, just like Luke, is a little sore, I guess, but she's getting the 1-button DP, and not only that, she's gaining the easiest instant dive kicks ever. Literally just hook forward and just hit like up and the easy operation button here, and you get instant easy dive kicks, and you better believe there's some easy combos following that stuff up. Specifically the medium kick version, and you know, you can still do the other dive kicks if you want to, right? And you can still even do the manual timing instant air versions as well. So like, if you know how to do instant air dive kicks, and like they're not taking that away from you, right? But it just makes life a lot easier. You can just plank up and special move button. You get medium dive kick, which is pretty solid all in all. If you can hit that shins, it's plus on block. And of course, if you can connect with it, then it's combo time. And 1-button specials makes the combo a lot easier, right? So that's a very powerful tool to have on demand. That you don't have to think about the instant air timing. If you still want to do the regular ones, they're still there for you. They don't go away. It's just a very quick, fast option that leads to a lot of very, very good pressure. And also, like Luke, she has very good reaction check supers, where I can just tap heavy and the auto button at the same time here. And okay, did you whiff something? Gotcha. Because her level 1's very fast like that. And she has, in my opinion, the best level 3 super in the game. So if you whiff anything from almost anywhere on the screen, then it's just down 2 buttons together, no need for buffering motions, and boom, your level 3 comes out, and the enemy is done like dinner. Once again here, it's a lot more instant than the old, oh, he's buffering it in, he's looking for it, right? And when you see someone doing this, they're obviously looking to buffer something in. This, you can just walk forward, go, nope, no buffer needed, no nothing, you can just go into it. And for Cammy, her level 1 and level 3 supers are both great reaction check supers, and thus benefit quite a bit from modern instant supers. So keeps the overwhelming majority of her good buttons, gets the 1-button uppercut, gets 1-button instant dive kicks without having to do any, you know, instant dive kick tricks, and great reaction check supers. So Cammy also at the top, in my opinion. Now, Lily. So Lily was not one I was expecting to put on this list, to be honest with you, especially at the top. I made a whole video about Zangief and how I don't think Zangief is worth it in the end, even though he does get the famous 1-button pile driver, which Lily does as well, and it does keep those same benefits, but Lily has more benefits than Zangief does. Just like Luke, just like Cammy, yes, 1-button anti-air instant dragon punch. Once again, I highly value this. I think this is the biggest possible benefit you can get in modern. It's worth its weight in gold, so I don't want to belabor that point too much, but Lily has it, the frame 1 instant anti-air, so it's amazing. But some other stuff about Lily. So a good thing for Lily is she keeps every normal that's important. It's not like Cammy and Luke where it's still valuable in the end overall, but they both lose like a normal that stings just a little bit. No. She has everything that's important here. She is not losing anything at all. She's got everything that matters. So, like, this is all benefit for her big time. She can do everything that matters for her. So, doesn't give up anything in that department, which is amazing. Now, one of the few things I did praise Zengi for with modern controls was specifically the EX, the instant EX. Because her regular grab, it is the heavy version, the one button grab, which is of the 3 normal versions like the least valuable. Now, modern being modern, you can still do all the other grabs like manually, right? Like that is not taken away from you. And the light grab with its like extra really good range is still there for you to manually do, but it's not there on the easy button, one button options, right? But EX grab is on the one button option, which makes it like potentially a whiff punish button. She can actually catch things with the one button EX pile driver because it does have a lot of range, a lot more than the heavy version, that's for sure. So if you catch something big that whiffs in front of you, you can instantly grab it with EX pile driver and then, build up the wind stalks. Now the easy button, you can't do the wind stalks without the attack attached to it, right? But once again, we're not too worried about that because I'm assuming you're able to manually do the specials yourself. So you can do that, your choice, that's fine. I'm talking only about the benefits where the one button specials work in your favor. Now, Lily doesn't have a good reaction check super necessarily. She just doesn't, not built for that, not that kind of character. So doesn't have that strength that Cammy and Luke have, but just a simple fact that she basically loses nothing at all that really matters. Like she still has all the important buttons. So that's really, really good. She benefits highly, once again, one button Dragon Punch. She does heavily benefit, in my opinion, from the on-demand instant EX pile driver because it has the extra range. And once again, you can do it manually, but it's going to be slower. It's going to be a few frames slower. So even though there is a damage penalty with instant means you might be able to whiff punish moves that you otherwise cannot, right? Because a grab is still 5 frame startup. That's very fast. Even a lot of her like lights are not 5 frames. Lily's a little slow like that. So fast, good punish. So for me, that's why Lily makes it at the top of the modern tier list along with Luke and Cammy, because I think she just benefits highly enough just off the uppercut and instant pile drivers alone. And now the tier below, I'm just going to put it out there. The tier below, they're all here because they all have the easy uppercuts. So they don't benefit as much. Ryu is almost on that next tier. Why? Because he retains most of his moveset, but a couple of real moves that sting, which we'll talk about in a second here. He does have that good instant reaction punish super, which is amazing, right? Shinku Hadoken is, in my opinion, one of the best supers in the game. So being able to just catch people out is really, really good. The problem is he actually loses moves that like hurt a lot. He cannot do stand roundhouse. Stand roundhouse is very important for combos. It's a good punish counter, so big punish combos. You would love to have it. He cannot do it. He also cannot do back heavy punch, which is another really solid combo workhorse move. Also a strong counter poke move as well. And, he retains, some of the big boys, right? Like he still has solar plexus. That's good. Still has stand fierce punch, which is good, right? Still has axe kick, still has hop kick, all that kind of stuff. But back heavy punch is missing, and that sucks. And he also can't do jump medium punch. And jump medium punch is really solid just for like anti-air combos. Like I'll catch you in the air and then land and shoryuken you or something, or some more advanced corner combos. So the normals he loses compared to Luke actually stings a fair bit. Like he has strong advantages too. Like his auto combo suite too, if you want to use the auto combos, are actually decent. Like he gets hit confirms off crouch lights, all that kind of stuff. Like it's not bad. But he loses more than Luke and Cammy do in the normals department. So that's the reason to me why he's the tier below. Ken is not bad as well. So Ken, once again, one button uppercut. I like that a lot. And he doesn't really lose much. The only thing Ken can't really do is he can't do crouch medium punches, which, sucks, I guess. But it's not the be all end all. The only thing is, outside of the one button uppercut, he just doesn't really gain much else. He also can't do anything other than heavy and EX Dragon Lash kick. And heavy is the one you want anyways 9 times out of 10 because that's the one that's plus on block. But the thing is, because it's a Dragon Punch motion, if you try to manually enter a Dragon Punch motion, you're only going to get Shoryukens, right? The move doesn't exist outside of the easy input button, which also means it's always going to be scaled. You can't manually do the move no matter what. So that's not necessarily a point in its favor. Once again, it gives you the one you want, which is great. Either you get the EX or the heavy one. It's the ones you want, but you don't have the option. It's just literally taken away from you. So overall, on the basis of easy uppercut only, he makes the tier list here, but that's about it. For Jamie and for Jury, there's really nothing else to be said other than they both have easy uppercuts. They're both invincible to air attacks frame 1, so they have it on a single button press. That's very valuable, but other than that, that's about it. They don't really lose too much anyways, so just having it on demand is worth it by itself, but there's nothing else that stands out. They just make it purely on the strength of the one button anti-air alone. And that's about it for the tier list. So the characters with the obvious strengths, we talked about them. People like, say, JP's not bad, but there's nothing noticeable. And once again, the charge characters, in my opinion, are simply not worth it because you have to play them normally anyways, right? Like, look at DJ. So his fireball is the medium fireball. You cannot throw the double fireball unless you EX, which is not as good necessarily because it's the one fireball. And if you want to throw the classic double fireball, you have to manually do the fireball normally. Like, you can't use the easy modern inputs. So once again, for the charge characters, what's the point? Because you don't actually get the same benefit you get out of all the other characters. So some people, basically every character with a proper Shoryuken, proper Dragon Punch, uppercut, all that kind of stuff, they all directly benefit, some more than others. Other characters are just, you know, bland and inoffensive. I got nothing to really say for or against it. They still benefit, but not in a really gaming the system kind of way. And for the charge characters, I just straight up would not recommend playing any of the charge characters in Modern because I do not think it's worth your time and effort, because you have to play the actual charge mechanic straight and you have to manually do it. So what's the point of Modern at that point, right? But yeah, so that is my tier list by demand, by request. So you guys asked, here's the video for it. So thank you very much for watching. And other than that, well, I guess we're now at the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Street Fighter.